So we've got this Teferi's, I figured it had a name. It's just Teferi's Planeswalker deck from the Dominaria set. And I've already opened this. Haven't actually gone through the cards or anything. I did already take the booster packs out. And look at that box, though. Such a great box. Reading Rainbow. Anyway, this features this little Planeswalker right here, Teferi the Timebender. Teferi is one of my favorite Planeswalkers. In terms of lore, in terms of gameplay, it's cool too. But I mean, as far as lore goes, I mean, he was there from the invasion cycle and before that, and you know he's been around for a while, and I'm glad that he's kind of getting like a little resurgence lately. Him and Karn both. I'm excited to see if they end up doing anything with him. I'm actually not too caught up on the story of Dominaria, the set as a whole. So I probably need to read up on that. And if you guys are interested in any other kind of lore or anything having to do with Magic the Gathering, they have a lot of resources online that talk about that kind of thing. Actually, I might go into some of that on this channel as well. If it's something you guys are interested in, then leave a comment and everything like that below. Just let me know what you guys want to see. We'll see what we can get going. But without further ado, here is the deck itself. A blue and white deck. So Niambi, I'm assuming, I think that's his daughter. When she enters the battlefield, you may search your library or graveyard for Teferi. Always a great card. It's one of your little fetch cards that are in, always in these Planeswalker decks now. Let's see, Daring Archaeologist, it's your next rare. When there's the battlefield, you may return target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. And whenever you cast a historic spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Daring Archaeologist. So this set deals with like a mechanic called like historic spells. That is predominantly like artifacts, legendaries, and sagas. Sagas are these crazy full art enchantments that tend to do all kinds of different stuff. So well, I haven't looked at this deck list or anything like that yet. So from what I can tell, I mean, maybe it's going to have like a historic spell kind of element to it. There's another Niambi. That's always good. Zahid, Djinn of the Lamp, for 4 and 2 blue as a 5/6. And you may pay 3 and 1 blue and tap an untapped artifact you control rather than play this spell's mana cost. Flying. Okay, cool. So I'm getting a sense that there's kind of like an artifact kind of thing going on with this. Let's see where this goes. Sparring Construct, 1/1. When he dies, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. 3 Knights of New Benalia, just 3/1. There's 3 of those. Oh, there's another Construct. It's bizarre how they got this set up. They don't have all the same cards together. It seems like they're just kind of random. Relic Runner can't be blocked if you cast a historic spell. Okay, there's 2 of those. Tetsuko oh my god, Umezawa. I was never sure how to pronounce that name. Fugitive. Now I believe that she is like oh yeah, it says in the flavor text right here she's her ancestor's Toshiro. Umezawa, if I recall, I don't know. I think he had something to do with Nicol Bolas. I could actually I'll look into that and I'll get back with you guys. Creatures you control can't be with power 1 or toughness 1 or less can't be blocked. Wow. Interesting. So it seems like it's got a lot of these little creatures. 2/1 flying can't block for 3. I don't know about that one. Jorah's Familiar. There's a couple of these in here. Historic spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Now I like these little things. They remind me of Bubo from Clash of the Titans. If any of y'all are old enough to know what Clash of the Titans is, not the new ones, but the old one. Juggernaut, cool. 5/3 for 4, attacks each combat if able and can't be blocked by walls. Okay, there's a couple of them. Teferi's Sentinel. As long as you control a Teferi Planeswalker, he gets +4/+0. Oh, cool. So basically just a 6/6 artifact creature when you have Teferi out. That's not bad. Sarah Angel, 4/4 Flying Vigilance, nice. Gideon's Reproach, deals 4 damage to target attacker from blocking creature. For 2 mana, that's not bad. 3 of those in there. A couple Befuddles, -4, -0 until end turn, draw a card. Seems like a lot of this is kind of hold off your opponent until you can get some stuff out, it seems, with like a minor focus on these historic spells. Divination, never go wrong with Divination. Temporal Machinations, return target creature to its owner's hand. If you control an artifact, draw a card. Oh, I like that. That's real cool. That is real cool, and there's 4 of those. And we're getting to our plains here. Islands. I'm assuming there's 4 dual lands in the back. Yep. Play tap. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 4 of these. Okay, so my big critique of these is there is always too many lands. There's no instance why this deck needs 26 lands. I realize that these are kind of like, they're almost like intro decks in a way. I mean, it's got a Planeswalker in it to draw new players and that kind of thing. But this can be improved greatly, I think. This deck altogether, though, it kind of like screams for a Tezzeret, you know, with this kind of focus on artifacts and such. But if you look at your Teferi, he actually has like an ability that deals with artifacts, +2, untap up to 1 target artifact or creature. That's nice because, I mean, sometimes you might not have an artifact out and that affects your creature as well. I could see like a little combo going if you had some kind of creatures with a tap ability. No, none of these guys have activated abilities at all, actually. They're all triggered abilities, so maybe some kind of addition that could work and build a combo with that, perhaps. The big sell here to me with Teferi is his -9, his ultimate ability, which is take an extra turn after this one. That's crazy. I always love those, like a time spiral or anything like that that gives you an extra turn. I mean, it's always fun for you to play, and people always hate it when you have an ability like that. But return, what are you going to do with this deck? I don't know. It seems like it's lacking something to me. So I'm just going to go over these real quick, and then I'll be back, and I'll give you guys some recommendations to put into this. Alright, so as far as this deck goes, it's kind of all over the place. I mean, you can't really expect a lot more from this kind of deck. It's more to showcase off these mechanics, I believe. So a lot of the stuff that I'm going to be recommending are things around this set. I'm going to do a lot of the Dominaria stuff and some like 2019 core set stuff. There's a lot of different ways to go about this. So as far as a lot of this goes, you could really push for combos with this little Tetsuko here. She's 1/3, and creatures you control with power or toughness 1 or less can't be blocked. Now this is a great little card. Creatures you control with power or toughness 1 or less. So that actually gives you a lot to play around with in terms of what can and can't be blocked. A lot of these little Knights of New Benalia, 3/1s, unblockable. These 2/1 constructs, Acer Glider, those two, unblockable. Relic Runner, unblockable. So if you really want to kind of like push that envelope on that, I would add 3 more of these, just so that you've got a full play set of these. And you could go for getting rid of some of these Teferi Sentinels. I know that they get a lot better whenever he is in play, but they're going to be chump blocked all day. So really what we could focus on is making a lot of this stuff just plain chumps. We could do all 1/1s or something with a toughness of 1. So a lot of these artifacts that are in here, Sparring Construct, it's a 1/1, yep, it's unblockable. When it dies, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. So that kind of goes in the way of this little combo that we've got here. So you could get rid of a couple of these, you could get rid of these Juggernauts, and you could replace it with a lot of other kind of artifacts. If you wanted to, you could add some of these Skittering Surveyors. They're 1/2s, and they get you some more lands out whenever you have one of these out. So they cost a little more. They cost about a 3. So really, you could push for what you wanted to. If you want to kind of divide and go with something a little bit different, a Diamond Mare might be up your alley. It's a 1/3, so it would be unblockable if you had Tetsuko out. When it enters the battlefield, you choose a color. Whenever you cast a spell of the chosen color, you gain 1 life. That by itself might not be a good choice unless you want to go a route that you could add a little life gain with some of your white spells that where this is a white and a blue deck. You're also kind of contradicting yourself whenever you have to pick one color, so you're only gaining life half the time for a lot of these spells. So if you wanted to just go another route, I know it's kind of weird, but you could do a lot of Raise the Alarm route. Those not familiar with Raise the Alarm, you put 2 1/1 white soldier creature tokens onto the battlefield. These creatures would be unblockable. You could even go so far as to put Queen's Commission, create 2 1/1 white vampire creature tokens with lifelink. That adds a little more lifelink to like your little life gain combo if you wanted to go that far. Again, these are just options. I know it's kind of weird that this is a blue and white deck and there is not a 1 cancel in here. I would definitely put something like that, even if it's just your sideboard, because you never know when you're going to need something like that. If you wanted to go something a little more in the Dominaria block, you could do Blink of an Eye. It's not necessarily a counter, but it is a cheap alternative to returning that big creature to their hand for another turn. It's also got a nice little kicker to it where you could draw a card. Now, a lot of these cards have a minor draw mechanic. There's a Divination in here. This is an amazing card. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't want more of these. If you really want to push for that kind of additional draw mechanic, like Temporal Machinations, you get to draw a card if you control an artifact, and of course you're going to control an artifact. And Befuddle gives you a little defensive power, and you get to draw a card as well. A lot of this stuff you could really pump up. You could add some more Divinations. You could go so far as to add like a Scholar of the Stars. If you control an artifact, you get to draw a card when he enters the battlefield. He's not a bad 3/2 either. However, if you are pushing for this little Tetsuo combo thing that you got going, you might want to steer clear of that. That creature could just be chump blocked all day. Again, you could do any kind of like improvements. As far as you want to stay within budget, you could just do commons and uncommons. But if you're going into your rares here, you could replace this Sarah Angel with... for 1 more mana, you could get Sarah's Guardian instead of Sarah's Angel. It's 5/5, flying, vigilance, and other creatures you control have vigilance. So you could kind of really push what you've got going with these little 1/1s, or these ones with like very low toughness. You could attack with them, they would be unblockable, and then they wouldn't be tapped, so you could actually block yourself. So I mean, really, there's a lot that you could improve in this deck. It's really just deciding what you want to do. For me though, I'm gonna go the route of adding some more Tetsukos and getting rid of a lot of these bigger artifact creatures, and getting some more of these ones, like maybe if they have lower toughness, maybe we could go that route. But really, it's ultimately up to whatever you're comfortable with. If you're wanting to go that 1/1 route, you could add a lot of these Aviation Pioneers. 3 mana, you get a 1/2, so she herself would be unblockable. And then Aviation Pioneer enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying. So I mean, you're making your own little army with these, and honestly, I think that would be the route that I would go. You could even add in Artificer's Assistant. I always mess up how to say that. The 1/1 flying, and whenever you cast a historic spell, you scry 1. This kind of like adds to your whole historic thing that you've got going on anyway. Since all artifacts are considered historic, you could actually add some non-creature artifacts as well. These Rogue's Gloves would be a nice fit to this deck as well. Whenever a equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. If you're putting this on any of your little 1/1s, they're doing combat damage every turn. So that kind of pushes your card advantage that a lot of these cards are really pushing for. A lot of these that allow you to draw a card in addition to doing something else. So maybe this is a route that you want to go as well. As far as your white spells go, there's literally only 3 white spells in this deck. They are Gideon's Reproach. Now, me personally, I like it. It's an instant for 2 mana, and it might potentially get rid of an attacking or blocking creature. However, you could even go with the old pacifism route. Equipped or enchanted creature can't attack or block. Instead of actually killing that creature, you could just make it useless. I don't know about you guys, but anytime I get a pacifism put on a huge, useful creature of mine, I just want to flip the table over, you know? Really, it's just so many options. Take Vengeance is also a good option as well. If you're wanting to actually just get rid of the creature altogether, if they're attacking, this would get rid of it. As far as I go, I would actually add some more of these as well. You could either add another Gideon's Reproach, or you could add some Take Vengeance as well. In the white creature department, there's a lot of stuff that you could add. White is, it's almost as crazy as red for having a ton of like little 1/1 white creatures or the like. I'd recommend something like this. For 3 mana, it's a Sergeant at Arms. He's a 2/3 himself, and he has a kicker. Whenever he enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 white creature tokens. This is a nice little mid-game answer to a lot of problems. You could create some chunk blockers yourself, or if you have your Tetsuko out, you just got some more damage to peck away at your opponent. So, as far as you guys, what do you think you could add to this deck to improve it? I've presented my ideas. If you guys have any kind of like thoughts or criticisms or anything like that, put a comment down below. And if you like what we've got going so far, like this and subscribe. We're trying to grow the channel quite a bit, so if you guys would like to see something specific, just give us a shout out, just message us, anything like that. And this is Travis with the Magic Cave signing off. Thank you.